everyone. I am so excited to have with us today the brilliant, the wise, the beautiful Gabrielle Bernstein. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Casey. I love being with you.
It's so great. I'm so thrilled. And for those of you who may not be aware, Gabby is the author of Add More Ing, of Spirit Junkie, and the forthcoming book, which is about to come out in just a few days here on January 1st, May Cause Miracles. So I am just thrilled to have you here, Gabby, to ask you a couple of questions about this journey for you, because you are someone that I see, and it's just incredible watching the way in which the volume on your message is just getting cranked up so high. And I would love to find out from you, have you ever experienced fear or self-doubt that really intense for you when it's come time for you to put your message out there, whether it's doing a talk or a book or whatever it may be? Has that come up for you?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the reason that things have sped up for me as a speaker and as a messenger, if you call it, were partially because I just kept saying "F it" to the fear. I was just like, I got to do this, right? And there's a great quote. There's a Joan of Arc quote: "I am not afraid. I was born to do this." And I really chose to make that my mantra when I was in my early 20s. 26 was, I really began speaking at 21, but when I was 25, 26, I started speaking on spirituality and personal development. And I'm 33 now, so it's been almost over 7 years. And so the energy of "I'm not afraid, I was born to do this" was kind of the driving force behind my need to write books and be a speaker and carry a message. And of course, along the way, there's plenty of moments when fear creeps in. Moments of, oh my God, did I say too much? Did I flip people out? Is it okay to start, talking about God? Is it time where I can, push the spiritual envelope a little further? Is it okay if I wear a turban? Like these kinds of things. And not wanting to, alienate anyone, but also I think the biggest thing is acceptance that you're not going to please everybody. And that as long as you're being truthful and authentic about what it is that you're sharing, then people will be able to meet you where they meet you. And if people don't like it, then they'll fall off and they'll find another messenger. But to just let go of what you think other folks need and what they want, and just focus on what you are here to share. And I feel very clear that when I let go of those attachments, that's when my message can come through much clearer.
It sounds like, was there a time for you where you made a very clear commitment to getting this work out into the world?
Things became less scary, Casey, when I became more connected to my spiritual practice. So in the first few years of teaching spirituality, I was teaching from my head. And then when I was 28 years old, I had a really nice crack open spiritual awakening, which I write about in my book, Spirit Junkie. And at that point in my life, when I just started to really know what God meant to me on a deeper level, and I was no longer afraid to express those truths. And I also trusted, as a student of A Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles teaches us that you'll be given the messages, and the messages will come through you naturally, and they'll come through you in a way that is relevant to the audience that is called to come to you. And so we don't need to conform to any one way. We just need to be who we are and to trust that Spirit is working through us. And so once I really embraced my spiritual relationship and my spiritual understanding, that's when I became a clearer channel. And that's when really all of the fear of being a messenger lifted, because I didn't have to worry about what I was saying or how I was saying it, because I trusted that there was a lot of work coming through me and working on my behalf.
Beautiful. What would you say and recommend then to some of the women who are here, maybe watching this right now, about who have something burning inside of them, something they're committed to getting out there in the form of a message of some kind? Speaking is what most women are here interested in. What would you recommend that they either start to do in their life to turn that fear into action for them?
Well, there's a few things. First and foremost, I think that, first of all, I love what you do. I think it's the coolest thing. Like, we have to do a lecture together or something. It's like the most amazing business ever of teaching people how to do this stuff. I just want to honor you for that, because women, so many of us have that fire within us that says, I have to speak, I have to share. And all the fear blocking us is just the worst thing that could possibly happen, because there's nothing more important and more valuable than a powerful woman expressing her truth. And so my feeling was, one of the greatest virtues for any speaker is to be authentic. Regardless if you've said the same speech 1,000 times, you have to love every word as much as you said it the first time, as much as you did the first time it came through you. And when I just stay in the presence of being genuine and authentic, then some of my material comes through, and then new ideas come through that I never even knew existed. Sometimes I walk off the stage and I was like, what the hell did I just say, right? Or I'll look back at a video and I'll say, who said that? And that's when you know you're doing good work. Yes, of course you can have an outline. Yes, of course you have material. Yes, of course you have bullet points, or if you use, PowerPoint or whatever you use. But most importantly, you want to make sure that your authenticity is bleeding through everything you say, regardless of how many times you have said it. And your truth really is just how connected are you to your message. And for me, every time I do a talk, I really think so deeply about the audience, and I think about what it is that I want them to feel. And when I think about what I want them to feel, I think about how it makes me feel to carry the message. And so if you're committed to the feeling and the essence of what it is that you're sharing, then that feeling will be experienced. And I actually don't really think it's all about being so polished and perfect. And I'm sure you'll agree with me. There's some speakers that are super polished and perfect, but you don't feel the same vibration that you feel from someone who just gets on the stage and is just completely truthful and real. And really, I think that all the world wants from us is our truth. And so I think that's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give everybody. And there's one more thing. A lot of people ask me, you've been speaking for so long, and this and that. I've actually been speaking publicly for 11 years. But the first 5 years of my speaking career, I spoke for free. And I think it's really important for people to understand that. Yes, I get paid to speak today. It's my primary vocation. But that was not always the case. I spoke for free for 5 years. Not because I needed to prove myself, not because I needed to build a resume, because I loved it. I just loved it. I would go to every school, every sorority, every women's group, and I was, every ladies who launch. I was like, where can I get a microphone? And I just spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke. And then I just really got my chops. I got confident, I got comfortable, I gained material, I began to create stories, and then I've just been repurposing and replaying all those tools ever since. And so I really like to share that speaking for free is a great way to build your career as a speaker.
So I want to move into talking about this new book that you have coming out in just a few moments, it seems like.
Yeah.
May Cause Miracles. So tell us. There it is. So awesome. So what inspired you to write this one?
Well, my readers are who inspire me to write the next book. So I often am told intuitively and literally what to write. So literally I was getting tweets and Facebook messages and emails of people just saying, tell me what to do. Like people screaming with like all caps on Twitter, tell me what to do. Begging me to just say, do this meditation, say this prayer. Here's an exercise for you to be in a container so you can create change. And I think folks really just need that guidance right now. I think that people are just so overwhelmed with all of the messaging, all of the technology, all of the horrors and traumas in the world, that they literally want to just be told how to create these changes. And so my intention for this book was to really create a 40-day platform for people to be in a container where they could create that change. And I love the subtitle of this book. It's a 40-day guidebook of subtle shifts for radical change and unlimited happiness. But the operative word is subtle, because that was what I kept hearing. People were so afraid to make that change so quickly. And they were like, well, how do I change things overnight? Or I need to change things overnight. And the primary emphasis of this book is that the change occurs in the subtle shifts. And I'm sure you can testify to this too. It's like those really subtle moments of just like, oh my God, I feel better about that now. And then when we add up those moments, we just feel better in general. And so I was listening to the call of my readers, and I was also just listening to my intuitive voice that kept saying, give them a guidebook, make it easy, make it fun.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I know a lot of people, especially this time of year, are into making New Year's resolutions, setting, some kind of powerful intentions they want to have for this next year. How can this really support people in having those intentions or those resolutions stick?
Well, see, what I believe, truthfully, for making resolutions stick is just having repetition. And so this book is all about creating daily repetition and creating new thought patterns that you're repeating over and over. And when we repeat new thought patterns, is when we create really permanent change. And so that's the intention of this book. My hope is for people to go literally day 1 through 40 and not skip the day, because that new behavior, a lot of the book may feel repetitive at times, and that was done on purpose. So there's literally each day of every week has the same theme, so that when you go into the next week, you know what to expect. There's 3 lessons in every day. There's a morning reflection, an affirmation, and an exercise. So it's very repetitive. It's very it's very easy for someone. It's not like you're feeling like you're all over the place. There's a specific structure, so you can feel like, oh, I have a plan and I'm in it right now. What I think also is really beautiful is that when people are starting their resolutions and they're in this time period where they're like wanting to make all this change, it's very overwhelming because we don't know how. And so the nice thing about this book is saying, you don't have to figure it out anymore. I got it. It's all here. And it's based on what I've done for myself, which I think is really groovy. And I think a lot of my readers really want to know what I do. And it's like, this is what I do. So
I love that. I love that. I mean, I know that for myself, when I'm looking to create a real shift in something in my life, whether that's my health or whether that's through something with my body with exercise or my business, having that structure that someone that, whether it's a coach or someone that you're a guide of some kind, that create that structure for you that you can just fall into and be into, that you don't have to worry about the structure. You can just really be in the heart of it. And I think that's brilliant. Brilliant what you're creating here. So I want to know what's a miracle that has come about for you in the recent past. Tell us about how some of this work has shifted you, and tell us about a miracle that's come about for you.
Well, I just felt like I've experienced so many miracles in my life. One of the greatest gifts I've been given is that recently I became a student and a teacher of Kundalini Yoga and meditation.
That on Facebook. Yes.
Yeah, it's really good. And I had been praying, and I believe a miracle is really just when you stop limiting yourself and you start opening up. And so, and then when you open up, then the gifts can be bestowed upon you. And so for me, I was feeling like I was very in my head, and, really like, though I would meditate for an hour just to pull myself out of my head, it had to take an hour, because I was so in my left brain, so thinking about all the stuff I needed to do and just so wanting to create and put things out into the world. When really, what I needed most was that creative capacity. And this was just sort of what was coming up this past year. And so I kept praying for some guidance to help me get into my body and let my body express these truths and let my body move all the energy through me. And I was guided by my friend Shauna to go to a private Kundalini class with Gurmukh, who's one of the great teachers of Kundalini Yoga. And I was like, I don't like yoga, but I have to go to this, and I don't know why. And I just showed up, and within 2 months, I had signed up for the teacher training. Wow. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so, these things come when we become open to receive them. And so I had been praying and praying and praying for a new technology and a greater, deeper spiritual understanding, and for more tools to share. And I wanted to be a greater teacher. And so I, kept looking for that in all that I was already doing, and that obviously helped. But then the universe leads you to what you need when you open up to wanting it. And so I was guided. And so that's one of the greatest miracles. And then, just amazing shifts in my romantic relationship. I'm getting married, that's really exciting, and all the daily shifts that go on when you are committed to loving someone deeply. And now I'm just expecting many miracles for this new book. So I can't wait to talk to you next week when I tell you that my book is on the New York Times bestseller list. That will be a miracle. That's sister.
Well, let's help make that happen. I'm gonna put a link underneath where everybody can be able to get access to get the book when it comes out. And I know you're going to be in San Francisco on the 10th.
Yeah. So on the 10th, we'll put the link for that in here too.
Yep.
But when folks buy the book, they get a ridiculous amount of gifts. So I have to tell everybody what they get. I'll give you that. You've got the link for all the gifts.
Yes.
And what they get is a 3-hour course that I did. It's broken up into 2 sessions. and it's called How to Create What You Want in 2013. And I honestly think it's radical. Like 3,500 people joined us for this live course,
Wow.
and you feel the energy of the people in that space. And so that was amazing. And then you have the video of that. You've got interviews with Chris Carr, Danielle Laporte, Nick Ortner, Mastin Kipp about their miracle worker practice. You've got my audiobook introduction. You've got guided meditations. You've got my authentic power lecture. I mean, like, you have content for the rest of your life. So you can get lots of juice and lots of love just by ordering the book. And Casey, you'll give them the link to get those gifts.
Yes, those links will be below. That's wonderful. Well, Gabby, it's such an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and for bringing this book out. I can't wait to have a copy of my own. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's to everybody who's watching. Thanks so much, Gabby.
Love you. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Casey.
Bye.